Coming up on this edition of Carolina Insider, see how USC's dance team is taking new steps towards inclusion.
There still are some people that are like not accepting of it, but most of everything was positive though.
Still ahead, how a multi-million-dollar donation is opening courtroom and classroom doors for USC law students. But first, how Richland County has one of the highest STD rates in the nation. Carolina Insider starts now. Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Emily Okon. Our top story today, if you are sexually active, this next story could be important for you. Research shows Richland County has one of the highest STD rates in the country. Our Kiki Gushue looks into the reasons behind the rates and how you can better protect yourself.
According to a 2022 report by New York Requirements, Richland County ranks third nationally for sexually transmitted diseases or infections. DHEC's Program Director of STDs, HIV, and Partner Services, Bernard Gilliard, says that STIs don't discriminate.
You could be married or single or same-gender loving or any of those things.
DHEC points to unprotected sex, homelessness, and the rise of dating apps as a prominent spread of STIs.
It's kind of like a used car, buyer beware.
College students are in the prime age group for STD spread. According to the CDC, 25% of college students have had an STI, and Richland County has over 30,000 college students across its different institutions. But some USC students say that the state's education system is to blame.
In 5th grade, they told you about puberty, but that I didn't have anything actually about sex. I took my health class online over the summer, and there was I don't remember it. I feel like I would remember that.
While South Carolina is legally required to include sex education in the public school system, they must stress abstinence, and parents can pull their child from the class. Some colleges do give resources to students to stop the spread of STDs. I'm outside of USC Center for Health and Well-Being, where they offer free STI consultations as well as lab testing. At the health center, students can also receive free condoms and dental dams. To stop the spread, experts point to testing, disclosure, treatment, and condoms. For Carolina Insider, I'm Kiki Gushue.
This week, the state of South Carolina approved plans to spend more than $300 million to move many of its employees from downtown Columbia. State workers will leave their decades-old Bull Street offices, many of which are old and run down. The Department of Public Health, Mental Health, Disabilities, and Special Needs are moving to Casey. The Department of Environmental Services is going to offices on Colonial Life Boulevard. South Carolina roads might look a bit different now that a new state law has taken effect. A new law banning so-called Carolina squats began this week. The law says that any car or truck that's front fender is 4 inches higher or lower than the rear fender will be labeled as a squat vehicle. Law enforcement is only giving warnings for the first 180 days, but will start fining people after that. Owners will face fines of $100 to $300 and could have their license suspended for repeatedly breaking the law. And thanks to a $30 million donation, USC's law school has a new name. Joseph F. Rice is an alumnus of the law school and a nationally recognized lawyer. Now, the building at the corner of Gervais and Senate Streets will bear his name. His donation will go toward 3- and 4-year scholarships, along with awards for current law students. And according to the American Bar Association, the average law student has more than $100,000 in debt. USC also had another name change this semester. The university's dance team will no longer be called the Carolina Girls, now that they have a new member. Here with details on that in today's Cocky Spotlight is Austin Lozinak. Austin?
Thanks, Emily. When USC's football team plays Kentucky tomorrow at Williams-Brice Stadium, you'll also be able to see someone on the sidelines that's drawing attention. The Carolina Girls are now the Carolina Dance Team after adding a new member, and his name is Jordan Gary. Gary went to some of USC's dance clinics and decided to ask dance coach Lindsey Sprague if he could try out. He both made it onto the team and made USC history. Gary says that while the public wasn't accepting at first, others embraced the change.
The public was like, oh, this is kind of weird, like it was an all-girls team, but like the dancing community and everybody around us, like we're already kind of used to seeing male dancers all the time, so they were really accepting of it. There still are some people that are like not accepting of it, but most of everything was positive though.
Gary hopes to encourage other men to try out for the team. Tomorrow's kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. Back to you in the studio, Emily.
Thanks, Austin. That's it for this edition of Carolina Insider, a student production here in the Kennedy Greenhouse Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week.